Okay.
Alright, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to my persuasion speech for my Speech 100 class at Highland Community College. First off, I would like to share with you a brief story that happened in Santa Monica, California on a hot summer day like this, where hundreds of people were at a local farmer's market when a 1992 Buick LeSabre came through crashing into the market, hitting everyone in its path, injuring many people. It was going at about 50 to 60 miles an hour, and it went for about 10 seconds until a body underneath it had eventually halted the car. CNN announced that 10 people were killed and 63 people were injured. Santa Monica Police Chief James T. Butts Jr. described the incident as the single most horrific, devastating scene of tragedy. George Russell Weller, an 87-year-old driver, was responsible for this horrific incident when he thought that he was hitting the brake pedal instead of the brake pedal instead of the gas. I myself have witnessed the dangers of elderly driving, and I think that we need to take a close look at this issue and look into resolving this issue. In this speech, I will be discussing the details of this problem. I will be providing you statistics and facts, and I will introduce to you my solution and why it works. And if you look at the handout that I've given you there, it'll give you kind of an idea of what I'm talking about there as far as the problem goes, as far as the driver fatalities from 1999 to 2004, as it gives you from 65 and older and up, the higher of the fatalities are for this age group. So this problem, we witness elderly people driving dangerously on the road, from missing a stop sign, having slow reaction, and being involved in close call incidents. According to helpguide.org, which is a nonprofit resource helping people deal with life challenges, many elderly who suffers the following: visual decline, hearing loss, limited mobility, decreased reaction time, dementia, brain impairment can affect their driving ability. Now here's the proof that this is a serious problem. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety states that people over the age of 65 are involved in more fatal car accidents than any other age group except for teenage drivers. This problem can impact your life. For example, the Santa Monica incident can happen to Pike Place. What if you happen to be there with your family, with your friends? What if you have kids and they're walking to school and all of a sudden an elder driver misses the stoplight? Some say that this really isn't a problem and they just brush it off. That they think that any age group can cause an accident like this. I disagree, because it's obvious that elderly drivers' lower perception can pose a risk on the roads. Therefore, it is considered a hazard for them to be on the roads. A research article titled "Hazard Perception Ability of Older Drivers" published by the Journals of Gerontology found that a correlation between age and hazard perception response time, indicating that older drivers were slower at responding to traffic conflicts. We know that this problem exists. That the fact that I've just provided to you guys validates that we must take an action, and that here I will discuss the solution that I am proposing. The solution that I'm proposing for this problem is some kind of a mandatory yearly driving testing for elderly at the age of 65 and over. This test should include assessments of cognitive ability, reaction time, vision, hearing, etc. Here's how the solution will work. Currently in Washington State, there is no law that mandates elderly to take re-examination tests to assess their driving skills. One thing that we can do is we can support ongoing petitions that are proposing re-examination for elderly driving. And if there's not one active, start one. Inform people about it, and for those people who agree, have them sign the petition. Here's the proof that the solution does work to solve the problem. In the handout that I've given you there, which is titled "Older Dangerous Drivers: A Growing Problem" by USA Today, a study of 910 drivers ages 55 to 96 was found that drivers who did not perform to standards in certain cognitive tests following basic commands and repeating simple movements are 25% more likely to cause a crash. If the state's made it mandatory for elderly drivers to take a test such as this can reduce high amount of accidents from elderly driving, which can save many lives. Some say that the solution won't work. I've read up on opinions, and whether citizens would be retested every year, and they oppose the idea because they think that it's taking away from them, taking away their independence, and it's discrimination. Though it is a reasonable and valid point, I think that if we keep unsafe and hazardous elderly drivers out on the road, we are risking our own safety as well as theirs. Senior citizens have the option to take public transportation to run their errands. The solution to my problem is the step we need to make. If the problem continues, it will affect our safety on the road in the future. Picture how much worse off if we don't move to use my solution. According to USA Today, U.S. Census Bureau projects that there will be 9.6 million people 85 and older by 2030, which is 73% up from today. Road safety analysts predict that by 2030, when all the baby boomers are at least 65, they will be responsible for 25% of all fatal crashes. These statistics clearly show that higher risk of fatal crashes caused by driving elderly in the future. This can affect not just us, but our children and grandchildren. Picture how much better off the world will be once we put this solution into place. If state governments recognize this issue based on these statistics and put my solution into action, this would lower the risk of dangers of elderly who are incapable of driving. I provided you facts and statistics to prove that this is a serious issue. What are you going to do about it? More and more these days, we're being made aware of the dangers of elderly driving. We need to take action in finding a solution to this problem. Elderly drivers should be retested with driving at least once a year, as health problems and decreasing perception pose high risk of danger while they are out on the roads. If we don't take action, more and more accidents like Santa Monica Farmers Market will happen. If we do take action, it will save lives, and it will lower the 25% fatal crashes caused by elderly drivers by 2030. If you Google the words elderly driving hazard, it will pull up hundreds of articles, news, and information about the dangers of elderly driving. Read about them and do something about it. Thank you.